I want you to imagine a barn. You know, when I was growing up, I was born in the mid-50s. And when I was growing up, there were farms all through the county. And every farm had a barn, a big barn. And the barn was really important. I mean, in the barn was the milk cow. In the barn was where you stored all the hay. You'd cut hay all through the summer and then save it up in the hay loft so that the animals would have something to eat all through the winter. In the barn was seed. In the barn was food. It was just, you had to have this barn for the farm and the people living in and on the farm to be fed, be well fed, and have all the functionality they need to get through the year. It was everything they needed was connected to what was in that barn. So I want you to use your imagination and imagine a barn, a big, old barn. Yet in this barn, it's a big barn, and everything you need, I'm going to say this, everything you want and need are inside that barn. And yet, it just has one door in the side. You know, a door enables you to walk through a wall. Think about it. In this barn, you see the long wall, and there's this door, small door, just for like a one person to walk through the door in this big wall. And you know inside that barn is everything you need that fulfills you. A lot of things we think we want, we think we need, that don't fulfill us. We chase things that don't fulfill us. They may make us temporarily happy. Oh, I'm happy. Well, you know, in a few minutes or a few days or a few weeks, you're not happy again. You're unhappy. That didn't work. It didn't fulfill you. It didn't fill you full of joy. It just was temporary. But you know, in that barn is everything that you want and need. And you see the door. Now, this door, you know, doors, they have hinges. And you see this door, it's not that big, just enough for one person to go through. And this door has two hinges that the door swings on. Okay? You with me? You following me? We're going to talk about those two hinges. And without the hinges, the door doesn't work. First, Yeshua said, I am the door. Jesus, he said, I am the door. Oh. Jesus also said, take up your cross and follow me. Oh, where did he go? He said, I am the way, the pathway, the roadway, the way to get from here to there. He's the door. He's the way. Follow me. Where did he go? Where is he? He's seated next to Big Daddy. Big Daddy, that's who I call, you know, Big Daddy. That's what I call him. He's big and he's my daddy. People call him God. Jesus is Father. Whatever. He said, follow me daily. Take up your cross daily and follow me. In the prayer he taught us to pray. Pray that we receive daily bread. Give us this day our daily bread. It's in the barn. But you got to go through the door. And the door has two hinges. Let's talk about the hinges. This guy comes to Yeshua. You know, these smart people always trying to trip him up or trip you up. I think he was a lawyer. And he comes and says, hey, what is the greatest commandment? And Yeshua quoted for him, wow, it's called the Shema. Deuteronomy 6:4. Hear, O Israel, Yahovah your Elohim, Yahovah is one, Echad. You shall love him with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your strength. As a matter of fact, the Hebrew literally translated says, you shall love him with all that is utterly you. That's one of the hinges. But he wasn't through answering the guy. What's the greatest commandment? You shall love Big Daddy with everything you have, your heart, your soul, your mind, your strength. And the second is like it. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. Of course, the guy wanted to, he tried to trick him with this gotcha question, and he hammered me. Well, who's my neighbor? And then he tells the parable of the Good Samaritan. Back to the two hinges. What's the greatest commandment? Love Big Daddy with everything you have, and love your neighbor as yourself. And he added this comment. On these two statements hang all the law and the prophets. All the writings, the Torah, Leviticus, the national laws, the prophets, Isaiah, Jeremiah, the kings, the judges, all the writings, the Psalms. The Song of Songs, the Song of Solomon. Ruth. The rebuilding of Jerusalem. Ezra and Nehemiah. All of those scriptures are summed up in these two statements that are actually one statement. The two hinges that enable us to go through the door into the Father's barn, wherein is everything we want and need. Everything that fulfills us, fills us full with His ways, His wisdom, His understanding, His joy. Yeshua was praying a prayer in John 17, said that my joy might be fulfilled in them. When you're full, not just of any old joy, but when you're full of His joy, bruh. He also made the statement that no man can take from you. When we are filled with His joy, filled with his joy, especially when we start our day first thing in the morning, getting in the barn through the door to sit with the Father, sit beside Yeshua. He's sitting beside the Father and them personally tutoring us. And we come out of there to go into our day filled full with his joy that no man can take from you. Wow. It could take years, decades, maybe a whole lifetime to really know and understand what it is like, what it means, and how to walk in love Big Daddy with everything you have. And love your neighbor as you love yourself. The two hinges that cause the door to open for you any time you desire to go into that barn and get anything you need, anything you want. That's the well message of the kingdom. You know, there was a Greek word that was translated gospel. Technically, it should be translated well message. Yeshua said, and this well message of the kingdom shall be publicly proclaimed in all the earth before I come back. Those two hinges, love Big Daddy with everything that you have, and love your neighbor as you love yourself. In this hang all of the scriptural writings. Taking a hold of that, learning how to do that, pretty important. Foundational stone of the well message of the kingdom. Love you guys.